Mm. Good evening to one and all present here. Do let me know once we are ready to start. A lot of people are joining in. Hmm. Are we ready to begin? Great. Am I audible? Thank you very much, dear participants. A lot of people are still joining in. I'll give a moment more and we shall begin. All right, a very good evening to one and all present here. Let us begin today's session with a quick prayer and then start.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिः परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य तिष्ठे गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Thank you very much for joining me in the prayer. I did see a couple of hands raised. If you have something to tell me, please mention it in the chat box and I will try and answer your queries. If you have anything to ask or to say, please mention it in the chat box. Thank you very much. And with this, we shall formally begin with the session. Before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome every one of you to today's session at Patliputra Sahodaya School Complex. Simultaneously, I would like to thank Shri Rajiv Ranjan Sinha sir for inviting me to take up this session, and also would like to thank Insha Rahman ma'am for organizing this session. All of these sessions that I take at Patliputra Sahodaya would not have been possible without the firm determination, support, and cooperation of Sri Tarun Kumar sir, Joint Secretary and Head, CBSE Center of Excellence, Patna. I express my deep gratitude to Sri Tarun Kumar sir for bringing us together and meeting us with Patliputra Sahodaya, where I take my sessions regularly. So thank you very much to Sri Tarun Kumar sir, as well as to Rajiv Ranjan Sinha sir and Insha Rahman ma'am, as well as to everyone at Patliputra Sahodaya, the entire technical team who's handling this session and coordinating it so beautifully for us. Today, our topic is the National Credit Framework. And this is Ms. Khyati Dwarkadas, HOD Social Science Innovation Ambassador, MOE, AICT, and CBSE. as well as School Training Nodal Coordinator, Gopi Birla Memorial School, Mumbai, welcoming you to this session. I happen to be a master trainer and resource person for CBSE, and that's how I'm connected to all of you across the Sahoday, and I welcome you all to today's session. Now, the National Credit Framework has played a very, very important role because it's not developed by CBSE alone. You can see the number of bodies on this slide which have developed the National Credit Framework. You can see it's been developed by UGC, AICT, NCVET, NCRT, DOSEL, DOHE, MOE, MSD, CBSE, NIOS, DGT. Everybody together has got together and made this framework. So this framework is not only applicable to us as CBSE schools, but it's even applicable to higher educational institutions and vocational training centers. NIOS will also have it. And when you look at the committee comprises of the chairperson of NCVT and high-level committee member, Dr. Nirmaljit Singh Kalsi, who also took a session on YouTube, a webinar on YouTube for National Credit Framework for CBSE. Shri Manoj Ahuja sir was also on this committee. He was a chairperson, former chairperson of CBSE. Then you can see Shri Vineet Joshi sir, who's also been a former chairperson of CBSE and now chairman NTA. He's also been in this committee. You can also see people from DOSEL and MSD. You can see UGC members and NIOS, AICT members, particularly Dr. Punia. You can see NCRT member Dr. Sridhar Srivastav. He's the director of NCRT. And most of all, the main important member that connected all of us to National Credit Framework, Dr. Biswajit Saha. Then he was the training head at CBSE, but now he's the skill education head at CBSE. And all of them have signed. You can see it all in front of you. So when it came to the National Credit Framework, it also brought us back to the NEP. The NEP made education more holistic. Obviously, it tries to lay emphasis on integration of general and educational subjects with all the vocational subjects. So if you remember, in the NEP, there is one clause which says there will be no silos or no compartmentalization between subjects. A student can take on one history with one physics, one math, as well as a vocational or a skill subject. So they're trying to bring it all together. I think my voice is loud and clear. Somebody is saying it's breaking, cutting. Am I clear to you? Shubham Kumari, I'm not. Shubham Kumar. Is my voice okay? Thank you, Mita. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you for telling me that my voice is clear. So then the National Credit Framework has been jointly developed, like I told you, by all these organizations. And there you can see NEP in a nutshell. Now, Indian statistics to consider when we talk about the NEP, you cannot forget that 85% of the jobs that will exist 6 years from now will be empty. They won't be existing. And 65% of the jobs that people will be in 6 years from now do not exist today. So what are we training our students for? An unknown future. And 62% of India's population at that point in time is going to be in the 15 to 59 age group. So we are also going to be the youngest nation. 54% of the population will be below 25 years of age. And look at this now. There will be very few people who will be above 59, 60 in that time. Therefore, it is very, very important to provide high quality educational opportunities and effective skilling to our population, the youth. If we target them now, then in the next couple of years, will they be able to be their best? Amarnath Prasad is saying sound is not clear. But the rest of them are all saying it is clear. Amarnath Prasad, may please log in again. Skilling is the need of the hour. Now, because the jobs will not be there, we will obviously have to do something. Okay, there is somebody who's saying my sound is still not clear. For all those of you whom my sound is not clear, please log out and log in. Patna Sahoday is saying I'm not audible. Who is manning it at Patliputra? I need to stop sharing because I need to ask the host if I am audible. A lot of people are mentioning that I am audible, but there are a few who are saying no, including Patna Sahoday saying I'm not audible. Okay, thank you for telling me that I am audible. Everyone is now able to hear me. And we shall no longer get into the audible inaudible because I have a very robust connection and I'm going to continue from where we stopped. Now, when we look at this, you can see that the need of the hour is actually upskilling the population. Global youth unemployment rate is like 13%, which can be brought down drastically. Unemployment can be done away with. हम लोगों को रोजगार दे सकते हैं, केवल जरूर है उनको अपस्किल करने की. और जो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स है उसमें यही लिखा है, inclusive education, sustainable economic growth, full productive employment, and decent work for all. So when we look at the National Credit Framework, it is an all-inclusive umbrella framework. It recognizes blended learning. It is giving extensive use of technology in teaching and learning. It is catering to multidisciplinary approach. It is like a unified skill framework or a unified approach across educational institutions and vocational institutions. In case if you have gifted and talented students, there is also a provision for their acceleration. Students may be flexible according to their talent and their need. It is a comprehensive framework from the foundational stage to the higher educational institutions, including vocational and skill education, NIOS, everyone. It establishes academic equivalence between vocational and general education. It gives us an mobility through the academic bank of credit. And we are going to look at all of this in today's session. So there are certain terms of reference that the high level committee has used. They assign credit value to academic and skill courses taught at various levels. So you have school education, higher education, skilling ecosystem, vocational training and education, distance and blended learning. Then there are ways to identify ways of credit accumulation. So for that, we have school education, higher education, vocational education and training, where we can identify ways of credit accumulation. And finally, we can propose credit transfer model for vocational and school education and back, vocational and higher education and back. It establishes an academic equivalence between vocational and general education at all levels, develops a unified credit framework for integrating vocational education into mainstream education and higher education, as well as identifies the mechanism for accumulation of and storage of credits through the academic bank of credit. So when all of us learned about the NEP, we did hear about the ABC Bank of Credit, the Academic Bank of Credit. Now we are going to be working on the Academic Bank of Credit. So the National Credit Framework will be your game changer. Why will it be a game changer? It's going to be realizing the vision and the intent of the NEP by ensuring flexibility and mobility, establishing academic equivalence between general and educational subjects. It's going to remove distinction between general subjects and vocational subjects. The no silos policy is now going to be in place. The National Credit Framework provides for assignment, accumulation, storage, transfer, and redemption of credits. It's a multidisciplinary education. It empowers students through flexibility in choice courses. And own learning trajectories and programs are given to the students. So what is academic acceleration? We talk about educational acceleration. So what is that educational acceleration all about? Why don't you write the meaning in the chat box? What do you understand by academic acceleration or educational acceleration? इस शब्द से आप क्या समझते हैं? So Gyanendra says making students comfortable in studies. Barsha Jaiswal, learning ability. Gyanendra says it's a student-centric approach. Increasing learning, Shubham Kumar, moving students away. Okay. Speeding up the process, Urvashi Thakur, absolutely. We are trying to speed up the process of teaching learning for the gifted children. Those who are actually talented, those who can take it, we will give it to them. It's the progression and mobility into formal education ecosystem, also from the non-formal education and ecosystem. And the National Credit Framework gives you a notional number of learning hours. So they say in a year, you would have approximately 1200 hours in a year. And for those 1200 hours, you are getting 40 credits. Additional courses, additional programs that you do beyond these 1200 hours will get additional credits. And there is no hard and fast separation in the areas of learning. Right? And all these credits get accumulated in the academic bank of credit. Now, the total credit points earned by the student in a particular year can be obtained by multiplying the credits earned with the NCRF level or the National Credit Framework level at which the credits have been earned. The credit points may be redeemed. Now you earn the points. I will show you that table where you earn the points and how you calculate them. But how will you redeem the points? आपको points तो मिल गए. You've collected your loyalty credits. But how will you redeem them? Gift voucher का redemption कैसे होगा? As per the guidelines issued in this regard for entry or admission in school, higher technical, vocational programs, courses at multiple levels, enabling horizontal and vertical mobility with various lateral entry and exit points. Okay, so somebody is already telling me what is given for adolescents. Thank you very much for sharing your input. Now look at this. This is the entire national credit framework. It is talking about higher education qualification, skill qualification, national credit framework, and the equivalence of credit levels. Look right below on that table. We have got 5 years of foundational stage of education, which has 800 credits per year. So in the preschool, which is of 3 years, nursery, junior KG, senior KG, there is a 0.1 credit level. And each year you get 27 credits. You multiply 27 into 3. How many do you get? 81. The formula given on this slide, if you look at the formula given here, multiply the credit with the credit level. So 27 credits in a year by the credit level 0.1. That gives you 8.1 credit points earned in that year. So it's important now to understand how you're going to calculate your credits. In class 1, now this you are doing for the 3 years of preschool. In class 1, the credits have increased to 0.2 level. And you again have 27 credits here. So 27 into 0.2 is 5.4. Again in class 2, you have 0.4 credits. Look at the level increasing now. So 0.4 into 27 will be 10.8. And now you are going to write and give me the mathematics. Look at it class-wise. 3 years preparatory stage. Class 3, class 4, class 5. There are 1,000 hours per year. So you have 0.6, 0.8 and 1.0. Now the credit levels are pre-decided by the institutions who've made the framework. So they have assigned a number with nothing in particular. There is no other notion to it. It's just a level. And the credits earned are decided. So if your student was in grade 7, how many credit points would he earn and how? आप मुझे मैथमेटिक्स से कैलकुलेशन करके बताएं 7वीं कक्षा का बच्चा एक वर्ष में कितनी क्रेडिट पाएगा और कैसे सुमिता दे वो मेथड का क्या है जहां से आपने कैलकुलेट किया कि इतनी क्रेडिट मिलेंगी I would love to see interaction in the chat rather than people introducing themselves. I only see a couple of people answering questions today. Yes, Poonam Sinha, 66.8 is 67 credits. What most people are writing, 67 credits. Yes, Priyanka, very good. It is 66.8. It's not 69.7, Ashok Kumar. Yes. So if you got 67 credits, 66.8 or 67, then you are correct. Beautiful. तालियां हो जाए आपके लिए. Then you look at the credits to be earned by a PhD scholar. एक PhD scholar कितने credit पाएगा? Yes, Priyanka, congratulations. The credit level, always the credit level multiplied by the credit points will give you this answer. Always keep that in mind. So when we look at the academic bank of credit, it shall be expanded to include credits earned through school education, vocational education, training and skill. It includes apprenticeship. आप कहीं और जाके internship करोगे, project work, etc. Experiential learning, work experience, has professional experience, has also been given a credit here. Assignments of credit has been enabled for online, digital and blended learning, particularly in vocational and skill subjects. Ruby Singh, do you have something to ask? Then you can mention it in the chat box. Now, when we look at the credit in the Indian context, what are we seeing? Only in NIOS, that is the National Indian Open Schools, each subject is assigned 240 credits, which are for self-study. And there are 5 subjects in NIOS. These require at 17 secondary and senior secondary level, which makes a total of 1200 hours and 40 credits in a year. Higher education systems give you choice-based credits. There is a skill assessment matrix for vocational advancement of youth, which is your Samvay, and this Samvay has been created by ICTE or AICTE. Now, how does Samvay give you the breakup? Samvay says, in each theory class, a new concept is taught, and the student is learning something new throughout the class. So for every, and it involves a lot of self-learning. And so there are 15 hours and you do 1 credit. Practical is dependent on the theory and experiments performed are based on concepts learned. It is a repetition of an already learned concept. Observations are taken again and again. So for 30 hours, you get 1 credit. And for every experiential learning, relevant experience, professional learning, proficiency test, you will make a field visit, industrial visit. You will apply your pre-learned concept. That will be 40 to 45 hours for 1 credit. The UGC gives us guidelines, University Grant Commission. That also gives us guidelines for the National Credit Framework. And these are based on the NSQF or the National Skill Qualification Framework. The skill component will be 60 to 70% practical, and general education component will only be 30 to 40%. So a lot of criteria is now brought together: communication skill, even soft skills, digital skills, all of those are put together. The credit structure for autonomous institutions like IITs, IIMs, they will also be having their own credit, but they will follow broadly the same one, the NCRF. And a semester-based credit system of study will be brought in. Flexibility is allowed to the students to progress at an optimum pace suited to their ability and convenience. Now, the National Skill Qualification Framework is anchored by NCVT, and it is giving skills at 10 levels, which have now been revised to 8 levels. This is based on outcome-based approach, where each level is defined, described in terms of competency levels to be achieved. And like I told you, there will be a no silos. The distinction between general and vocational subjects will be removed. Dignity of labor will be given importance. So then what are the advantages of NCRF? Hard separation between subjects, streams will be removed. Equivalence between general and vocational education and training will be established. Mobility will be allowed between general, vocational, and skill subjects. Integration and intermingling of educational skill and work experience. Enabling creditization of learning for students with varying learning capacities. And provision for recognition of prior learning. So what constitutes those 1200 learning hours? Classroom teaching, learning hours and tutorials, lab work, innovation lab, project, incubation lab, yearly, half-yearly assessment, midterm assessments, class tests, quizzes, activities, all the activities that we are currently doing. It could even be proficiency tests, performing arts. It could be debate, discussion, essay, celebration of festivals. You could be celebrating Makar Sankranti as a festival. The CBSE has come up with a circular today, Circular 5, where you have to celebrate Makar Sankranti on 14th and 15th Jan and upload its report. You could have self-defense, NCC, NSS, and other such things in your school. Value education, soul science. You can have all of this, counseling sessions, all as a part of your learning hours. Sports and games, physical activities, life skills and education, employability skills, community work, the 10 bagless days that we do, field trips, industrial visits, major projects, minor projects, all of it will now be a part of the NCRF learning hours. So if the students go for an internship somewhere, that is also now a part of the learning hours. You give homework, self-study time. It will all be a part of the learning hours. So then you have multiple exit options. You can exit, like you may want to do undergraduate courses up to university level 1. And then you may want to exit. So you do 40 plus one more course, which gives you 4 more credits. then you can leave before undergraduate level 2. But if you do undergraduate level 1 and move to undergraduate level 2, those 40 credits can be carried forward. If you choose to take an exit, you will need to do a course which gives you at least 4 more credits to add on to. Educational excursions included in the learning hours. So how is credit acquired? We need to see that, how is credit acquired? Training, qualification, how well is the coursework completed? What are the skills taught? What is the knowledge? Weightage will be 1. Number of years of experience. Proficiency derived from competence, higher weightage 1.33. Expert is able to perform a job with good standards 1.67. Mastery, highest level, then you get 2 credits. So you have the notional learning hours and credits. 1200 hours will be 30 notional learning hours and will be counted as 40 credits. Credit levels up from foundational stage, that is your pre-primary, to grade 2, prep stage, grade 3, 4, 5, middle stage 6, 7, 8, and class 9, 10, 11, 12 will be up to 4 credits. Undergraduate levels will be credit 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6. Postgraduate levels will be beyond 6. PhD will be 8. But vocational education directly has its own credit system 1 to 8. Credit points may be redeemed as per guidelines in the ABC, Academic Bank of Credit, which will be a digital storage. It will be linked to DigiLocker. Major components of learning and learning outcomes, you can see here, knowledge, skill, professional learning, and aptitude, the KSPA. Knowledge will include facts, concepts, cognitive and metacognitive concepts, skills, language, communication skills, soft skill, applied math, science, professional skills, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation, creation, aptitude, ability, personality, quantitative, logical reasoning, etc. And theory, practical, assignment, project, internship will be applicable to all. So this is how we just checked on how the credits are going to be taken forward from preschool to grade 5. You can see here. I have shown you part of the same table earlier as well. Which year, how many credit levels, how many credits given, and how you can multiply them. Now this is the credit assignment for school education. Class 1, number of hours of studies 800, 27 credit hours, level 0.1. And so on and so forth, right up to grade 12. So you can take a screenshot of this left-hand part because our students come on the left-hand part only. And that's more important to us as teachers at CBSE schools. Now, the learner is going to be accumulating credit. And it's going to be called total credit points earned. So a learner completing grade 11 and 12 from regular schooling earns 40 credits in every year. Credit accumulated by the learner would be 3.5 into 40 and 4 into 40. So you get 140 and 160 for each grade. Therefore, accumulated credit points for the assessment band would be 3.5 and 4, which equals to 300. Now, there is also provision made for transfer of credit. First, you establish equivalence with no silos, define the entry criteria with educational qualifications, define and establish multiple entry and exit possibilities, enhance international mobility, and give other benefits like establishing minimum requirements for a job, employment, or project. Now, equivalence can be brought in within the same board, within the same assessment band. The learner would need to clear or pass the previous assessment band and then move to the next assessment band. Now, look at this for the multiple entry exit point. A grade 5 student with a total accumulated credit points of 200 over the years undertaking a certain bridge course is eligible to appear for the 8th class examination. Once the student clears it, he can go to grade 9 through mainstream education. And this is how it is going to impact grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. See the credit level, the credit earned in a year, and the points earned in a year. This is very important for CBSE school teachers to know. Now, NCRF makes 75% attendance mandatory. Hours allocated to each academic year and credits per year are fixed. The scheme of studies, credit hours are all mentioned. Total learning hours per subject is 160 in 40 to 50 hours per subject. Credit shall reflect, and then there is certain time for project work, etc., which totals totally in a year to 210. Credit shall reflect mark or statement or grade card for final exam with the mark and grade. Credit will be deposited in the ABC and will be available through DigiLocker. Now you don't get half credit. Either you get full credit or you get no credit. So if you pass or you clear a grade of a subject, you get full credit for that. And credit earned will be in independent mark obtained. So from the session 23-24, NCRF has been introduced in grade 9 and 11. And for grade 10 and 12, it will go to the next year. So each subject is allocated 210 notional hours worth 7 credits. So 210 divided by 30 gives you 7. And the hours allocated to each chapter and further bifurcated into hours for theory and practical. So currently in the existing scheme, 5 subjects, we have 2 languages and 3 main subjects which have to be passed into 110 hours per subject into 5 subjects. So 1050 hours plus we have 150 hours for health and physical education, work experience, and art education. How do we get 150, 60, 30, 60? So 1050 plus 150. Now 7 credits are given to the main 5 subjects. HPE and art education have 2 credits each and work experience has 1 credit. So you get 35 credits for the main subjects and 5 credits for HPE, work experience, and art education. In case if the student has taken the 6th and 7th subject and passes, then based on that subject taken, how many credits that subject has, the student will get 47 to 54 credits. This is, you can take a screenshot of this. This talks about the allocation of credits per subject in the current scheme. So you can see in theory, the child has got 56. In practical, the child has 19. Total is 75. Our grade is C1, but the credits are 7. This is how you have to show it in your report card. Now, proposed scheme with the national credit framework will be 10 subjects, 3 languages, 7 subjects. Because you have the interdisciplinary areas and the vocational subject. So you have 120 hours, 150 hours, and 60 hours. And this is how the proposed scheme is talking about the allocation of credits. With 4 credits each, 5 credits to the main subjects, 4 to EVS in the interdisciplinary area, 2 to HPE, and 2 to art. In grade 11, in the existing scheme, once again it is 1050 hours plus 150 hours, making it 40 credits. And you see 2 languages and 4 subjects, according to the NCF SE in the proposed scheme. So now the child will have 2 languages from group 1, and from group 2, 3, and 4, the child has to select 4 subjects of his choice. So the student passes 6 subjects, total of 1,200 hours, 180 hours to the 2 languages, 6 credits each, 210 hours to 4 subjects with 7 credits each. And if you go for the skill subjects, then you can see employability skills, subject-specific skills, and practical and project work. 210 hours, 100 marks, 7 credits. You can see the main features of the credit system: standardized credit, learning outcome-based assessment, flexibility and choice, recognition to prior learning. In the implementation, it is with policy reform, extensive teacher training programs, curriculum mapping, and stakeholder collaboration. And when we talk about its implementation in CBSE schools, we can see faculty empowerment through curriculum integration, ensuring seamless integration, and assessment reforms. With this, I make a very humble submission of gratitude to Patliputra Sahodaya, Sri Rajiv Ranjan Sinha sir, and to Insha Rahman ma'am for inviting me and giving me the honor and privilege of conducting this session today. I would also like to thank Sri Tarun Kumar sir, Joint Secretary and Head, CBSE Center of Excellence, Patna, for inviting me to Patliputra Sahodaya and connecting me with them. Thank you very much, sir. And I would love to express my deep gratitude to all of you participants who've been interactive throughout today's session. Thank you very much. In case if you have any comment or query, please leave it in the chat box. You can leave me a feedback as well, which many of you have already done. Some of you who have not yet mentioned any feedback are welcome to write something. Thank you for the feedback that I am receiving from such wonderful participants.